What's that?
Chewing on my foot.
So here you see he's got some kind of mark or injury on his forehead. And he's saying, "What's that? What's chewing on my forehead?"
It's a rat. It's one of those great big fat trench rats. Help me, somebody, kill it. Couldn't be a rat. They wouldn't let rats run around chewing up the customers in a place like this. It's a dream. No, it isn't. It is a rat. It's crawling. It's crawling. No. No, don't let it get me.
So the important part to remember here is there's a rat crawling on him, and they're getting ready to take something away from his forehead.
No. He's close. He's on my chest. Don't scare him. Hold still and he won't. Where did it go? Did somebody kill it? Or did it just go away?
So there they removed something from his forehead. I'll show you what that means here in a little bit. But he said, "He's on my chest," to the rat. I'll show you what that means as well.
Well, what's a dream and what's real when you can't even tell when you're awake and when you're asleep?
How can you tell what's real and what's a dream when you can't even tell if you're awake or asleep? Okay, that's saying that the country is asleep or the country is awake, depending on your perspective.
Maybe the rat's real and the nurse here is a dream.
Maybe the rat's real and the nurse is a dream. The rat being the government. Maybe the rat is real, the bad guys, and the nurse is a dream. So maybe the nurses or the caretakers, the healthcare workers, are all paid. Not all of them, but the ones that are making the big decisions that you see on TV.
Oh, Jesus Christ, how can I ever be able to tell the difference?
The thing to do is yell. Sometimes, even now, I have this old dream that somebody wants to kill me, and my mother and father are running away with me to Egypt. I hear the sound of...
So he mentions Egypt. Okay, I just showed you in Egypt the symbolism in Egypt. Okay, that's where that comes from. You can see in the background that there's a bunch of crosses because Jesus is making crosses for all of the dying soldiers in the war. I'll show you
soldiers riding
something about that here in a minute.
And the screams, and I yell, and the yell wakes me up, and then I know that it's a dream. So, what you have to do is yell.
But you see, I can't yell. I can't even whisper.
Well, whispering wouldn't help anyhow. Another way is just to tell yourself, wait a minute here. This is a nightmare. And I have to wake up in order to stop it. Then just force your eyes open, and the dream will be gone.
Oh, I can't open my eyes. I haven't got any.
Force your eyes open, and the dream will be gone. So somehow we have to force everyone to wake up, is what this means. And that's why I'm making this video. Hopefully you can see exactly what they've been doing to us. Because all of the things that I'm showing you have not happened in a year or two. This movie was made in 1971. And if the symbolism in here is real, they've been planning it for far longer than that. So here, Jesus is getting ready to sign a paperwork to, looks like a train conductor, to ship the crosses off. we're back at Union Station, Washington, D.C. And since we saw the train conductor, we're going to follow this track. I'm just going to zoom out to make it a little faster. Hopefully. Okay, we're going to follow it up. And right here, alongside the railroad track, we have a bunch of crosses. Okay?
Maybe we should take a different line of attack altogether. Let us begin by assuming that everything is a dream, which by and large it is. When we're awake, we have one kind of dream. When we're asleep, we have another. The difference is that we control our daydreams, and the dream that comes at night controls us. Now think about that.
We control our daydream, and the dream that comes at night controls us. So, because the world is asleep, essentially we're dreaming. Okay, everything that's happening right now is because we're asleep, and has been happening for some time.
When you dream that the rat is there, do you control the dream? Or does the dream control you?
It controls me.
Yes, exactly. If the rat were really there, you'd knock it off, wouldn't you?
If the rat were really there, you would knock it off. If the rat were on his chest, he would knock it off. Okay? But he's getting ready to say that he can't because he has no arms. Now, remember that the rat is on his chest.
Of course.
So the fact that you don't knock it off proves that it really is a dream.
Yes.
So the fact that you don't knock it off proves that it really is a dream. Which means we have to knock the rat off of our chest. Okay? That's essentially what he's saying, and I'll get to that in a little bit.
What is that damnable odor?
Out there, sir. This fat hand came stumbling through the fog. Some bloke lost his head and popped him off. A stinker.
So here, in the movie, it's just a man that had died, got shot, and he was caught up in some barbed wire. But the position that he's in is exactly the position of the statue of St. John the Baptist. So here you can see, again, the man that's dead in the movie. The wagon wheel there would be the base of the statue, and then his left hand, as our right hand to him, is holding something, and then his right hand, our left hand to him, is pointing. So then if we put this over there, we can see that it's exactly the same pose, with the one hand pointing and the other one's wrapped around a stick or a cross, and then he's on some sort of a statue. A base. So that's what that represents. And because he's fallen, this represents the fall of Christianity, or the death of Christianity. Okay? I think this is pretty obvious, but I'll leave it up to you.
Death has a dignity all its own. And you will say a few words of prayer over the remains?
Yes.
So the general was saying to take a detail out to retrieve the body and then bury him later that night. And then they'll say a few words of prayer over the remains, suggesting that religion has something to do with it. So this is right after they bury the soldier that was dead, that looked like St. John the Baptist, and they're running away from a a munition that's getting ready to come in, and they hear it, and they hear the squealing. So this here is also in the Metallica music video one. This represents fireworks, okay? But in the music video, you see the fireworks exactly before the explosion, and I'll tell you what that means. There's the cross again. The explosion. Okay, so like I said, the music video has the fireworks exactly before the explosion, which I don't know if you remember something from a couple months ago, but in Lebanon, the port of Beirut had an explosion at a fireworks factory. So I'll leave that one to you. So since I mentioned Beirut, I'm showing you Beirut International Airport over top of DC right now. And I'm just going to highlight actually where the Marine barracks bombing happened in 1983. It was right there. Okay. So this is Beirut International Airport, and when you overlay this layout on DC, you'll notice that DC has a pentagon just above Lafayette Square there, which is just north of the White House. You can see a pentagon here. Okay. When you overlay Beirut's pentagon over top of that, you see it fits just inside of it. You'll notice that there is a loop in the road right here. Pay attention to where that loop is. Okay. That loop sits right on top of the Masonic Temple in Washington, D.C. Okay, you can call that a coincidence, or maybe not. Is there something more to it? Okay, so we have the Marine barracks bombing right there. And if we zoom out a little bit, we'll notice that the airport kind of forms an arrow, as most airports do. But if we take that point and follow this road, we'll see that that road points directly here. Coincidence? That's where the explosion just happened, at the port of Beirut, at the fireworks factory.